Welcome back there, soldiers. I've never done that intro before, but we're doing it now. We've got lower finals on the way for you. Oklahoma Christian trying to bounce back after a very, 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 very steep loss. Fisher Esports on the other side looking pretty solid till this point. My whole shift with me, I've got Proper. This has got to be a good one, right? I mean, both teams are kind of dealing with opposite instances. It's a rematch. It has all the makings of what should be a good game of COD.
Well, I mean, definitely should be a good game of COD, considering last night it went all the way to the distance to a map number 5, especially through the 2, 3, and 5. That's where Oklahoma Christian found a lot of success. They're trying to get the bounce back after what happened, unfortunately, up in that winner's bracket. Very close first two maps versus Northwood did not show up to play in that hotel control. Fisher Esports, though, we're sitting there watching on the sidelines, have yet to drop a single map today. Alan, it is definitely looking like it is setting up to be a banger.
Look, we say this all the time when it comes to Call of Duty, and I think more often than not, I think that, commentators in any esport can sometimes over-embellish the points of, momentum. However, this is, I think, the most example-based type matchup you could have. Oklahoma Christian is dealing with essentially a matchup that just did not go well at all. Ray, in particular, really bad series. Fisher Esports on the other side had a kind of okay, if not maybe for their standards, a bad first day, but they're playing clean today.
Yes.
So you got a team that's hot in the lower bracket, and then on the other side, a team that's really kind of maybe demoralized from the upper bracket. They need to find a way to bounce back, but let's take a moment and introduce our team. Starting off with the team making the run at the moment, it's the Fisher Falcons.
Successful enough to be down to 10 seconds to get to A as fast as you can. Guns is something so annoying in your back line, and that's going to be the round. You can look at those green arrows on the minimap looking for the rotation for P2. They were not able to get this last time around, so they put a little bit more emphasis, but still fall flat on their face. Look at that, Gunzy and Rex. Just an unstoppable duo right now.
We had a lot of questions to finish off the day yesterday in this particular matchup, but I think the biggest thing about it, Rex and Gunzy have come out hotter than we've ever seen them before, and Ramby and Silly have honestly started to really kind of get settled in, I think, with this full squad here on LAN.
I was sitting here having a lot of jokes with a lot of members for Fisher's back of house. Silly, he's looking to be in top form again. Look, he's getting cracked out of his coffee as well. Got to respect that. It's a world champion for crying out loud. Ramby was also showcasing a lot of his abilities, especially through the control and a lot of the different instances outside of the search and destroy. And that is something to behold when it comes down to Ramby. A lot of S&D prowess, but if he can deliver and keep up with pace, especially what we've been seeing out from both Rex and Gunzy, this team is a force to be reckoned with.
Zilly may have the meta, too. He's got iced coffee and a refresher from Starbucks. This guy's going, wow, damn, where you get that? Anyway, we got Oklahoma Christian on the other side, looking to play bounce back. Let's introduce the Eagles.
Turn around. Oh, wait, he's going to get a little bit of help here. Or so you thought. Spody just kind of bounces past him, and Frosty gets pulled. Oh, it's a cheeky play, and Texas State will not love watching the stream back and seeing that.
I know there's only 15 seconds left here, and Oklahoma Christian just wisely backing away from the hard point, which is arguably the most money kill we have here potentially in Modern Warfare 2.
Oh!
Frosty yesterday, I think, really jumped off the page for us. He finished off that final series, and no one could touch him. But today's been a different story so far for Oklahoma Christian. Maybe something to do with the fact they didn't have the same kind of warm-up playing through groups or not. They got to figure it out.
They really do. I mean, again, I'm not going to sit here and continuously beat a dead horse, but Ray doesn't really need to step it up. I feel like we're constantly talking about this roster, and you even go back to that map number 1. Gus starts off 6-0. Frosty was also right behind him as well, was able to earn a cruise missile. And, well, speaking of cruise missiles, Cruise. Every single one of these players, minus Ray, dropped 3,000 or plus damage. Rage is lagging behind ever so slightly. If they can somehow get it together, play as a cohesive 4-player roster, they might just be able to do it again and beat Fisher once again.
Well, here's our best of 5 series layout for our lower finals. Biggest thing about it, Fisher have been really great in their hard points this weekend. It's been the search and destroys and the controls that have been a bit of a question mark for them, but they're starting to give us some pretty solid answers as we go through. Now, comparing this map set to yesterday's, we're going to be getting a pretty relatively similar map set. The Mercado Search, the Expo Control, both repeats. We don't have Hydro this time around, nor a Hotel Hardpoint. So that's, I think, the interesting thing about it as far as we're getting a different map one to start things off for this team.
The Hydra Hardpoint was immediately taken away by Oklahoma Christian. They don't want to play Embassy Search and Destroy. Fortress Hardpoint also taken away and off the cards as well. So, yeah, going to be very interesting to be able to see how this hotel does play because it was not one of the maps that were played yesterday. Starting off on the favorite side of the map, Oklahoma Christian looking to start off hot after getting knocked down to the lower finals.
Here we go, running at it. Frosty, good first blood. Gunzy follows up. Hardpoint and aim for the Fishery Falcons. And ooh, silly. Long-range shots. He's not just got one, he'll take down two. Full team wipe in play. Rex trying to make a play to try to wrap around, try to flip these spawns, but Ray, well done, receives it, gets the kill, and now the Oklahoma Christian Eagles can make their way onto the hardpoint.
Setup as well. I mean, Oklahoma Christian, they're setting at least one player further forward. Ray will not be denied. He will not be at least knocked down a peg or two after the unfortunate performance there in the winners final. Still pushes forward. He's able to cause a little bit of a ruckus up front. Oklahoma Christian still trying to soak up some more time, but most importantly, they did not give up any of these alleys to give up the rotation to New.
Yeah, I think as far as off the break is concerned, that's about as good as you would expect playing up against a tough team on the opposite side. So decent stuff here for the Eagles. 34 plays 11. Hardpoint opens up that lovely shade of crimson maroon. I'm not sure which shade. I can't ask you because you're colorblind.
That's right.
Right over the top of the desk. Not going to be able to do too much, but does read where this hit's going to be coming from. Now it's just on to Fisher if they can get their way in, but at the moment, it's Gus shutting everything down. Big double, and Oklahoma will hold.
Last bullet takes down Ramby plus the trophy system as well. Frosty also able to complete the 6 free as well. He'll be cut down inside a statue, but realistically, that was the only opportunity that Fisher had to maybe try to push inside this hard point. Gunzy's also able to find a big one over by the double desk, but you still have to somehow work through this very good setup that Oklahoma Christian once had. Some kills come through. You get the player off the guy heading backstairs. Fisher Esports find their way in.
Yeah, decent stuff here from Fisher on their break attempt. Oklahoma Christian are giving up on this scrap time, just trying to see if Frosty could exist, maybe surprise the exit, but that will not be allowed to happen. So Fisher Esports right back up by the same margin they were exiting through P1. Setup for Oklahoma Christian will be a bit stretched here over towards Restaurant and Kitchen, seeing as Frosty did spawn ult.
Gus has a lot to look at. Towards the top side of Valet. He's got 2 players that's going to contest him for that positioning, and he can't even find a single one. So now the back has been opened up. Now the majority of this defense is all inside of Kitchen.
Frosty shut down off the pinch. This is just down to Ray and Cruz trying to hold. The Padawan and the teacher. I don't know. Fisher Esports get the first 2 kills cleanly. Last contest out from Cruz. Actually just kind of holds his breath a little while longer sitting in the corner, but it's not going to work out. Break attempt ultimately clean for Fisher. They're not spawning fully in, though, so here comes Oklahoma Christian for their re-break attempt, and, well, just as soon as it was trying to get off the ground, it's immediately shut down in place, and Fisher will grow their lead.
Well, just as soon as you were able to at least get a cruise missile to start things off for Frosty, Rex answers back with a 6 free of his own, now up to double positive for an 8 and 4 stat line, and just as soon as that break ended up coming through, as you were talking about, Oklahoma Christian, they had the decision just to fully sprint and maybe try to get the recontest. Does not work out. It'll be about a 40-point lead that Fisher Esports hold over their head, and look at the transition from 3 over towards 4. Yeah, you're still spawning a little bit further out, but you already got top bedroom control.
Cruz trying to battle against that. Shots not quite locking in towards Rex. He has to keep those alive. Silly popping over the top of the railing. He also stays alive. How about that, though? Frosty, Gus following up with the damage dealt by Cruz, so the bar looking pretty solid. Route by Frosty to play bottom side, and how about it? Cruz continues to find kills. The problem is, Fisher actually get the spawns in the back. Oklahoma Christian didn't have a full read on this, and they only get the first 20 seconds. Ray playing backside desk. Needs this to start warming up. He's got Ramby looking him down over through mid, and how about Ray on 3 in a row? One more over the top is Gunzy. Trade comes through, and how about it? The Eagles will find their rebreak.
And now Fisher are in a terrible spot. I mean, you got a lot of players that are still spawning in the backside of Spa. At least player number 5 of Silly, he's making the proactive decision to try to play ahead to get kitchen control for Restaurant. It's a very realistic hard point to hold from the front. Oklahoma Christian understand that, and they deliver on just that. What was a very unfortunate situation of nobody anchoring out the spawns. Oklahoma Christian walk away with the majority of the time. That even game into Restaurant we go.
Fisher Esports, though, find all the kills through these isolated lanes as we rotate back over to Restaurant, so they will have a very solid setup over towards New. Rex tested here, though, at Ruggs. Doesn't like the look of it. Tosses a Septex, backs away, gets his reload. Fisher trying to reinforce largely from the back. Here comes the hit. Cruz goes by himself. Where's the follow-up? There's Ray. He finally jumps on in, and as he does, okay, 3 for 2 goes the exchange. The Eagles will get their break, and now still 40 seconds to fight.
And they know exactly where this hit's coming from. You already had Frosty clearing all through Secret as well. He pushes in. Rex is going to call the cruise missile. They feel threatened by this 30 seconds. They are already on the better side of the map, but it hits the top shingles. It doesn't actually splash down inside the hard point whatsoever. Oklahoma Christian maintain presence in the hill.
Really good stuff here for OC. Gus trying to find an exit through Kitchen. Cruz following up. Trade is in. Cruz Rex got an SMG to play with, tries to get that out towards Rex, but still, back and forth, pinstripe kill feed. Oklahoma Christian still trying to fight their way over towards the new map, or the new hill, rather, on the mini-map. And it will be Gus who gets here first, but he is going to be completely missing every instance of information that he's going to need. Fortunately, though, OC get kills from the front, and how does Gus get that read? Gets the kill, gets the trophy system down. He'll stay alive, and the kills on exit are still good for the Eagles. They will grow their lead now.
Oh, Frosty's playing over by the fountain. He's cutting down reinforcements, conveys the information, especially towards Frosty, who's in the middle of the map, for more players on the backside of Jacuzzi. That there are a lot of players trying to funnel their way over towards luggage. Ramby finally gets dealt with. This setup, albeit spaced out, is a very strong one for Oklahoma as their lead will grow more.
Fisher find a couple of kills from the front. They jump on for the contest. Gunsy at range. Shut down. Gus gets the double. Pops out for more. Gus gets 3. Bounces back. Frosty with the bait switch. Gus is going to get the full team wipe. Now on the killing spree. Oklahoma Christian building some daylight here on the scoreboard as they're already finding success over towards mid-couch.
16-9 for Gus. 6 spree cruise missile in his back pocket. He's looking for more. 158 to 118. The end of the first set will remain vacant as everybody is jostling for position, trying to find information. Ramby is on the head glitch through the middle of the atrium as well. Will unfortunately probably get taken down as Ray completes the flank. How about Ray in this map number 1? 12 and 14. The kid is absolutely flourishing around Gus, Frosty, and Cruz as they have about a 30-plus point lead over Fisher's head.
Fisher do get the control through mid, finding a couple of stray kills here as well, while Oklahoma Christian are trying to look in towards atrium. Ray also throwing shoulders, does catch Gunsy, drops down. It's Rex in front of him. Trades, though, still come through. Not bad at all here for OC. Still not in a position, though, to fully get onto the hard point, but spawns actually flip. Cruz spawns on over to the right-hand side. He's going to have maybe a little bit of help here for Gus on rotation. We got 23 seconds remaining, and Fisher had to play recovery.
What a heads-up play from Rex, who spawns all the way inside of Jules, knowing that he needs to be playing for the future as well. Oklahoma Christian still playing for the old time as well. Cruz will respawn over by the B control zone, and the kills come through in the middle of the map. Oklahoma Christian will be able to get that scrap time. The lead will maintain. Fisher, though, they are trying to influence their numbers in towards the back, but look at all the space that Oklahoma Christian are taking. Gunsy just denies it, finds 2 more kills through 2 more players here for OC.
Hardpoint opens up. Neither team will have spawns in the back at the moment. This is all about finding the kills needed. Last player on is Ray, and he will not be able to get the gunfight. Gunsy surprises him. But from the front, Oklahoma Christian finding some follow-up kills. Gunsy, the last one left. He's going to be on 4. His teammates will spawn nearby, but they're not fully in yet. Nades for OC are good. Now it's just down to can they hold this next attempt. Ramby from the backside staircase. Not going to be able to find more than just the first. Silly trying to follow up. He gets 1 and out from the second. Last one in the corner. It's just down to Cruz, who tries to stay alive, but no. His killing spree will be put down on 5, and Fisher get the break.
This big 25 seconds could have been the difference of Oklahoma Christian potentially being over 200 points and Fisher about tying up the game. Gus will find the last kill. He's on a 3 spree. Still has a cruise missile in his back pocket. Keep it mind you. But look at the spawn. They're not overly influenced. Oklahoma Christian are still spawning towards the middle of the map. This is great news for OCU as they can just play for the rotation.
Eagles can take a bit of a breath right here. Frosty holding towards restaurant. Gus up towards mid. Cruz to assist. Ray will open up this hard point with the trophy to keep him safe. Fisher. Long route through bedroom. Still they're going to try to set up a bit of a pinch. Gus taken down. That should move the spawns around here. Now it's just down to can you find the kills inside the hard point. It's just down to Ray. He needs to be able to predict it. It's just flat out too many members coming from too many angles. Fisher clean on their break. They don't drop a single member.
Political break. Gus is up front now. Trying to at least bait for the first player. Frosty, windy shots. Gus still able to walk away with the gunfight win. But now it's still a lot of time to fight over. 30 seconds remains. Hardpoint being contested by Ray. Gus was nowhere near in a position to maybe try to follow up. He flies on in, looking for a little bit more. There's still 2 more players to deal with. The contested time is just going to have to be decent enough. As Oklahoma Christian are going to chalk the end of it, try to play for the rotation anew.
Going to have just about a tie game. Small edge to Fisher after this hardpoint expires. Oklahoma Christian still spawning largely on the left-hand side of the map. Are having a troublesome time trying to get their members in position here around Bar. And yeah, that's still going to be the case. Cruz actually spawns on the north side of the map, so it starts out in favor of the Eagles, but Fisher have numbers surrounding this hill. Come out with your hands up, says Rex. Already on the way in. Okay, that's a big gunfight win, and the rest of Fisher clean up around him. Fisher Esports secured the break, chance to win the game.
Got Cruz in the back. He's influencing spawns. Ray actually spawns over by the fire truck, so now he's going to get the pinch. Around back behind player number 7. Gus will get that kill. 2 players on the hard point currently, and Fisher are forced to flood in with numbers. Still 30 seconds left to fight for it.
Big break attempt here from Oklahoma Christian. Gus, good read on his silly, but doesn't win the gunfight. Now Frosty, one of the last ones left, is going to have Cruz with him, and actually Ray is also a part of the picture here. They need to find these wins, though. Just about a tie game. Frosty's focused on rotation. Meanwhile, Cruz had the old time. He's won his 1v1. That gets the scrap time to Oklahoma Christian. Fisher are not in a position to stop this, so we're going to have about a 230 to 213 game. Gus is trying to play his life as Fisher tries to hunt him out.
Yeah, I mean, Gus is pulling, what, like 2, maybe 3 numbers? Their setup around the restaurant isn't going to be good. Gus knocks down 2 players inside of Freezer, and it just comes down to Rampy inside the hard point itself. Gus is opening up the floodgates as Oklahoma Christian are looking to call game.
What a massive double from Gus. Fisher have to flood from the front. Frosty steps in their way. 239 to 213, but the trophy system expires. Gunzy gets one with the cruise missile. Hardpoint turns for now. Gus still trying to fight back, not going to work. Frosty last one left. Holds on to Ruggs for the time being. 222 to 239. Oklahoma Christian setting up their break attempt. Fisher trying to fight back at range, but no one's watching the early cross. Gus gonna toss in his cruise missile. That will secure the break. Gunzy, does he have more heroics for us in store? 245, 228. Gunzy has to go massive. He gets shut down. Is anyone gonna touch in time? Rex is able to get the contest, but Frosty gets the final double. And Oklahoma Christian take map number 1.
Oh, massive pop-off coming through for OCU. Even Seymour can't even believe it. Look at him behind the camera right now. It's absolutely insane scenes, just how close that hardpoint truly was. It was a small 20-point lead that then grew to about 30, but then it is the adaptations through the second set of hardpoints that does it for me, Alan. Just the ability to understand what went so wrong in such a quick amount of time. The quickness that Fisher were playing with just to break up hardpoint after hardpoint, then got delivered continuously from Gus. As he was just locking down these longer lines of sight, Gus knew that he just did some insane work. And that couples along nicely with the crossfire that Cruz was setting up continuously to fight for the old time. Frosty was the entry man. And again, that was probably the best map 1, the best hard point that we have gotten out of Ray all weekend long.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he starts off a very calm 2-2. I think at one point he went down to like 3-11, but then he bounces back in a major way his last handful of lives. And the thing is, he knows what his role is, and I think when we kind of saw this Oklahoma Christian team in the early stages of them playing through their groups, Ray was starting to build some confidence and was starting to play a little bit further forward, but that last series, he wasn't able to get away with those long-range Vaznev shots and fights that he was, finding himself in. This time he plays a little bit more reserved, stays at the hard point, finds the kills that he needs to get, and when you talk about difference makers in a tight matchup, how about the number of individual plays that came through at critical moments for Oklahoma Christian, highlighted, of course, by mostly Gus and Frosty in a couple of the key moments.
Dude, that play, top valet.
Unreal.
P6 was
Unbelievable.
active. I mean, it was just even like the bait that Frosty just gives him, like in that very snap point in time. Just the bait for Gus, who finds a 4-feed, is just absolutely absurd. I mean, these guys know the job at hand. And go figure that it has to come down to some individual heroics. But it's not just one player continuously for Oklahoma Christian. You could pick any one of these 4 players across the lengthy map number 1 that we just got. They just had their fill-in, Allen, and put Fisher Esports on notice.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the things that not a lot of teams have been able to do, is take a map 1, not just a hard point, but take a map 1 versus Fisher. As this may just turn into the Gus dead montage by the end of it. But that play right there, absolutely critical towards the break. And then right here at the end, the cruise missile, like you mentioned, it gets 1, but Gunzy can't hold his ground. Frosty and Gus turn up, and they light everybody up right at the final moments of that last contest. Unbelievable stuff. The pop-off, well-merited, as Oklahoma Christian are trying to eagerly get back and correct their mistakes that they just made in the winners finals.
Oh, man. That is just a hell of a start coming through for Oklahoma Christian. Again, they have been almost candidly a 2-3-5 team when it comes down to top prospects here in the CCL. I can't even remember the last time, maybe besides when they played other teams in their groups, that they were even able to take a map 1, much less against the Fisher freaking Falcons, man. Look at these stats, 32 and 22 out from Gus. 26 of those kills were non-traded. Both him and Frosty had about 3,700 damage, not to mention the casual 2 minutes of objective time from Gus with 18 of his 32 kills within the hard point.
Yeah, bro. I mean, this was as collective of a team effort as you could possibly want, flat out. Great stuff coming through. Good bounce back after, again, a very demoralizing map 3 in the winners finals. And talking with the Oklahoma Christian boys, you kind of talked about it, touched on it just a touch. They were sitting there saying, we just need a 2-3-5, teams like Fisher, teams like Northwood. Now all of a sudden the series looks very different with a map 1 win. You've got a Mercado Search and Destroy coming up, which you were able to beat Fisher in yesterday 6-4. So you start to feel pretty good about your chances at turning this into now 2 straight maps in a row after winning your hard point. You're looking at the maps coming through and you say, okay, now we've got our Search and Destroy. We should be able to go up 2-0 here.
Got some room to breathe now. The Eagles out of Oklahoma Christian taking a map number 1, things that we haven't really said all too often, going up against top teams, whether it was through the regular season or playoffs. But I got to tell you, this Fisher roster is definitely nothing to scoff at when it comes down to it. These 4 players, specifically in the Search and Destroy, can definitely get the job done. You always have to talk about Gunsy. Even in that 6-4 loss yesterday on Mercado, he still dropped like somewhere near like 12 to almost 14 kills, even for the L. He was always opening up the floodgates. And it mostly just comes down to their teamwork. And you talked to Gunsy earlier. I talked to Rex earlier as well. They understand fully that it has to be their Search and Destroy. The longer that this tournament goes on, that it's going to continuously get better. Their comfort with one another is going to get better. Well, now it's time to quite literally put up or shut up, because now you're down 0-1.
And I will say, just kind of to give a little bit more credit back towards Fisher, watching them play this map versus the University of North America Dragons, they looked really good on it.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a moment in here where you sit there and say, okay, OC has picked Mercado Search. We feel pretty decent about what we just did earlier on this map. They had a really cool dynamic setup where Rex would be sniping on the defensive side. They would use it as a chance to control mid-map, use tunnel as a post-plant retake position. It worked out for them almost every single time. So that's one of those things that you have to kind of keep your eye on right now, not only if you're a Fisher fan, but also if you're on OC's side of things. How do you deal with that? Are we going to try to snipe back against Rex? Because that's what we saw Lucho try to do. Found him once, lost to him twice. So, you know, you're almost flipping a coin, I think, at a certain point when you're trying to go up against Rex in the scope.
Frosty might just be the one to do it, though. How crazy was he yesterday?
Yeah.
Herculean efforts through both Search and Destroys from Frosty. Entry SMG, could be that AR, sniper rifle as well, just always in the mind games is Frosty when it comes down to Search and Destroy. Just got to be careful, because what really did escape them, I know I'm comparing apples to oranges with El Silo and Mercado for crying out loud, but like it's just one of those things that it almost felt like there was a certain amount of disjointment in the middle of the round of what they're trying to do to find the executes on the bomb site itself. It's really coming down to the information trade that needs to be there for Oklahoma Christian to catch the better of Fisher Esports. Fisher, look, they're as steady as they come, candidly speaking. They barely give you any easy gunfights, any really easy information to digest. But when you do find it, Oklahoma Christian cannot afford to hesitate on it.
Absolutely. Gut check, quick decision-making. Maybe the difference maker in this entire event. You saw Northwood really clean things up at their Search. One of these 2 teams is going to have a chance to battle up against that eventually. But, boy, this is a big proving point in this series right here, right now. For Fisher, this has been one of your worst modes across not just the LAN, but, again, it's soft to say. It's been their worst mode on the regular season. I mean, they beat everybody up, so you can't really hold too much water with that argument. But for Oklahoma Christian, the same can kind of be told. They're looking forward to the 2-3-5s against these tough opponents. Time to really show us why exactly you feel that way. It's Mercado Search and Destroy. Let's get into it. It's going to be Oklahoma Christian on the offense first and foremost, and it's nades to try to keep Rex off this angle through mid. That will work out. Here comes Oklahoma Christian for a little bit of fuego towards A.
Oh, man. Talk about a wrench in the system. I mean, realistically, you never see round 1 hits over towards A. It works out not only for the first, but Frosty finds the next 2. Ramby, 1v4. Good luck, have fun, brother.
Dude, that is the... What? Oh, he's... I thought for a second he was trying to toss that. Look, my bad. Regardless, that is good counter strategy from Oklahoma Christian. They had to have seen the fact that, you know, Rex is going to be sniping, and if he is, he's going to be mid-map. Let's toss off a utility there first, not over the top of this Cantina building. That works out to push him off the angle. Fisher don't feel comfortable in their defense, and that leads to that really aggressive push through Cantina.
It also comes down to easily said that when Fisher, when they were taking rounds off Oklahoma Christian on Mercado Search yesterday, they were always fighting for Cantina control. A lot of utility was thrown in the middle of the map, but it was the late stuns that came through over the hedges that allowed players like Frosty to get in their face. So, offensive first round coming through to OCU. Fisher Esports looking to find one of their own.
A little delayed hit here over towards this A zone. You got to keep in mind, because everyone died so fast, trophy systems still aren't earned. You have Ray, aggressive down low, stuns landing for OC up top. Cruz getting 1 and a 2nd. That's right through mid-tunnel. No one was even checking for it. Rex does clear out the backside planters. Ray still floating in the bottom side of Cantina. But if he pops this door, he's going to find a free kill onto Silly. But no need to get too aggressive. Silly's pretty much trapped here 1v3, and he's just hoping someone comes across his waiting eyes.
Silly, not even going to be able to find the first. And I mean, we saw that quite a lot actually yesterday from Oklahoma Christian on this specific map mode combination. That if you're not going to put, like, say, Rex sniping on top of the taco truck across the middle of the map, an AR, maybe just trying to throw some shoulders over by the tree. I mean, Cruz is just going to absolutely gobble you alive, man. He's going to push through the middle of the map. He's going to have a free line of sight through the tunnel. The late stun, again, on the top side of balcony confirms that everybody is essentially there. You haven't seen anything if you're Frosty over by B. Nothing from Cruz mid-map. You are trapped if you are Fisher in that point in time.
I think Fisher this time through, again, they didn't have their trophy system last time. Expect them to get aggressive here at A Cantina, but Oklahoma Christian are ready for that. The nades, once again, go right over the top of mid. They find connections under Rammy for first blood. Now you've got no defense over towards B. The bomb is not in a position to plant yet. Frosty's going to try to sneak in the dark, and they're going to play for kills first. Love the idea of it. Ray hops on, finds an opportunity to plant with Gus watching over the top of him, and then Gus finding kills deep. This is absolutely brilliant planning. Oklahoma Christian, they should know after the 2 rounds of no trophy systems being down, there for sure will be one in the third. Yep. So don't bother throwing nades to A. Throw them mid. Let's go B. I love it.
It was even the delayed Bay play, too. Because, I mean, the only information that got at least scouted out was the nade that ended up finding the first blood over towards dark. And then what the reactionary play was that Cruz, again, who's, I believe, is still up on 4 in a row. I believe he found number 5.
I think he got a 5th, yeah.
Regardless of the matter, he finds at least some shots over by the yellow van, and then where does he go? He dips back over towards Barber. Insane stuff. OCU with a 3-0 lead.
Trophy down for Fisher. Feels like they're allowed to start playing the game now. They throw 2 trophy systems down, Puzzle. Frosty down low. Good help from Ray. First shot's good for a kill. Rex also gets one over the top of the A site, though. Cantina control good for Fisher, but Cruz has already eliminated the possibility of a B play, so he's on a long flank. Ray below, Frosty below. The rest of this Fisher setup. Bomb down as well. You've got to keep that in mind. Fisher's going to have to make moves to collect this. And Cruz has no reason to make a move, but Ray gets caught trying to make a play. Frosty follows up, gets the trade. Ramby, off-angle play. Frosty trying to red dot chase. Caught in the corner, still finds the kill. Rex went low. Frosty gets the read. Frosty gets ball.
Brother.
Yeah.
This Oklahoma Christian roster went back to the hotel room and came out with like 250 IQ. As far as what they were able to digest from that map number 2 yesterday.
Holy.
They know that Fisher loved to play for Cantina. The late stuns are always so good. They're always trying to keep that bottom side at least contested defensively. As you were pointing out, Cruz didn't see a soul of utility over by B, so he enacts the flank, and then you're just trapped where you're supposed to go. OCU. Frosty got 6 in a row. Cruz still sitting up on 4.
Look at it.
Oh, man.
Same nades come through. Frosty's just going to hit it right through tunnel. He's got help with it. Frosty gets number 7 over the top. Nearly gets Silly as well. That won't fully work out, though, and now Ray's a bit stuck, for being honest. He needs to get some help from Gus, who's still lurking at mid-map. Ray does have dead silence to play with. Gets a look at Silly, but yeah, Silly was waiting for that gunfight the entire way through. So now it's just down to Gus, 1v3.
Halfway towards that silence. Has a stun if he wants to use it, but it's going to be a lot of isolated engagements, and I don't think these 3 players are going to give it to you. Finds one versus Rammy. Can't win the gunfight, so okay. A little bit of breathing room. All right, everybody just relax. Take it easy. Fisher get themselves on the board, and just by way of just completely stuffing what was through the middle and over towards the A push. So, again, what was been working well for the Eagles. The Falcons actually use it this time around. Delayed stuns, nades over the top. Yes, it only collects with trophy systems, but it's those last few stuns that basically keep all of the Eagles stuck in the mud. Fisher are finally starting to piece together a couple of kills. Gunzy still yet to find his first. Very uncharacteristic on a map mode combination like this.
Silly once again, trophy system down, stuns over the top, nades to follow. Oklahoma Christian playing backside planners. Now as soon as the nades expire, they move up towards windows. And how about this angle? Ray shut down. Frosty meets the same fate. Now it's just down to Gus. Gets one. He had to fight for a second. He knew for a fact he was about to get isolated. He'll drop. Now a 1v3 for Cruz on the other side. He gets stunned, but somehow still alive. He may get an opportunity here. Rex stunned on the opposite side, but goes to the drop shot. Fisher will put 2 together really quickly.
The utility usage for Fisher in the past 2 rounds has been sublime, to say the least. Again, throwing a collection amount of nades. There wasn't 2 trophy systems to come through this time around for Oklahoma Christian. The first trophy gets taken care of, and then the nades find damage. The stuns keep them trapped. And it's just Cantina control that comes through for the Falcons yet again, isolating the kills. Being able to get that isolated 2v1 inside Cantina, the 1v1 outside Cantina on the bomb side itself. Numbers were forever in Fisher's favor as they put together 2 rounds in a row.
All right, what's the next play? How about this? Fisher going to go with 3-1 defense. They're going to leaning B. And oh boy, Oklahoma Christian's doing the same thing. They're tossing fake nades to A, and they're going to commit early. Gunsy's on a really aggressive angle with that silence. There's the shots through, but wait, Cruz and Gus get the first 2. The contact on the B site turns up in favor of the offense. Cruise missile was called. That may have forced the play to come through sooner than you would have liked. And now Rex has found himself in a 1v3 of his own, and the rewrap towards mid's going to have Dylan completely bamboozled.
Oh, he's not going to know. How would he know? Bomb's going to get planted A. That's how he's going to unfortunately find out. But Rex has a trophy system this round, has double utility. But, I mean, look, Rex has been at the top of the charts for statistics when it comes down to Challengers Elite. A 1v3, this would be godlike.
He just has no intel. Ray shows himself. Semtex goes out. Gus off angle. Careful. Cruz. Frosty. Okay, there we go. Finally, we got the shots to come out. Clean stuff for Oklahoma Christian. And I think a good time to pop the cruise missile as well, just
totally.
to kind of force the gunfight. Even more so the fact that they kind of get blessed with the fact that it is a 3 versus 3 over towards B.
And it's literally just that. Is that when the cruise missile gets called in, you completely caught them off guard what was supposed to be a wrench in the system defensive call from Fisher, that they were going to put 3 players over towards B. Whether the cruise missile was going to get called in or not, you just completely caught all of the Falcons off guard, considering the fact that they were expecting the B push to come through. Candidly, it was, but the cruise missile confirmed the information of how close they all were and where they were located at. Oklahoma Christian all up on map point.
Gonna have a scuffle here at A. Trophy system for Rex does get down. Keeps a lot of the defensive utility safe, but double hit right across the bomb side. Ramby does shut down Ray. No follow-up. 3v3 we stay. Rex tagged, but stays alive. Quick flank though from Frosty. Clean shots as well. Ramby not a chance to respond, and yep, how about it? He gets the kill and he's out of there. 3v2 we go.
You were trapped. I mean, Frosty's going to play inside the garage mid-map. Gus is playing for exits. Something just jumped up and bit him in the rear end as he was exiting, but now it's your play. If you're Gunzy and Rex, your only real play is to just try to brute force your way back past the clothing truck side and maybe try to wrap back through the middle of the map, but Dylan Rex, he's still hanging out Cantina.
Yeah. Gunzy's in a position to make a play here. Rex tagged up off the regen. Also looking for isolation. He'll at least clear up. There's no one over towards tunnel side, but you just can't drop the bomb through mid if you're Gunzy. 25 seconds to play. Here comes the contact. Yep, Frosty's just laying prone. Not much you can do there. Rex for now a 1v2 after getting the first. Got Frosty on the other side of the wall from him. Watch through mid. Cruz gets the kill. No worries. Oklahoma Christian have come to play. And God, that is so freaking impressive considering what happened to them in the winners finals. I can't even begin to explain it.
Composure is but a small pillar when it comes down to Call of Duty Esports, and I think Oklahoma Christian are exemplifying all of that plus some more.
Yeah, I'll say.
Frosty is a problem, dude. 11-2, like, are you kidding me? The amount of times that, like, I'm just watching the mini-map of player number 1, like, his arrow is just, like, moving all over different in creation. That silence still being utilized, and he just completely repositions himself 2 times. Like, just take that final round, for example. Like, he gets all the way past mid-map defensively, and he's able to then re-wrap himself through the barbershop, is able to at least find that crazy gunfight versus Ramby, and then he repositions inside a garage. He holds that position for all of, what would you say, like maybe like 10 seconds?
Yeah,
and then he moves through tunnel for more information. In the moment that Gunzy thought that he cleared all of the middle of the map, to be fair, he was right. But that's just because Frosty had remaneuvered himself to cut down the exit from Cantina.
And I love those commitments on the B flank timing-wise, where if you're not seeing any offensive nades come your way, just hit it. Get a little bit further forward. If there's delayed nades that come out, you're still in a position to at worst go 1-for-1. So I love the fact that Oklahoma Christian are kind of, by default, playing with an aggressive mindset to where they want to kind of keep the tempo up, no matter if it is where the bomb's coming to or not. It's just they want to force you to have to respond to multiple instances of this defense. It's worked out perfectly. I mean, it's a lot of it, of course, is enabling Frosty to do what he did and what he does best, typically speaking. And, wow, Now we've got ourselves a 2-0 series. Oklahoma Christian up massively. And we go to an expo where Oklahoma Christian won yesterday 3-2. So, man, I'll tell you, it's starting to look real good for the Eagles to immediately get their revenge matchup versus Northwood.
11-2. 2 first bloods. 7 of the 11 non-traded with a 7 spree and 1,100 damage.
Yep.
That's just Frosty things, baby. That has been Frosty all weekend long in Search and Destroy. I don't care who he's playing. He has just been popping off. A very uncharacteristic map number 2, I will say that much from Gunzy, especially considering that Search and Destroy is a very integral game mode for him.
Absolutely.
The time that he has spent inside Search and Destroy and popping off in the game mode as well. The C2 and 7 from Gunzy is just very strange. But you got to talk about the assists again. You know, if Frosty's collecting on all these kills, he's finding a lot of good damage. The ARs were also at a combined 12 and 8 at the end of this as well. 2 first bloods for Cruz. Got a first blood as well from Gus. I mean, you got 3 first bloods on the side for Fisher Esports, but at the end of the day, you only won 2 rounds. So there was at least one of those rounds that you at least had numbers advantage, and, well, you didn't win it. So that's kind of awkward.
I'll say, boy, howdy. Oklahoma Christian coming a little bit different here in the lower finals, looking to take down Fisher, not once, but maybe twice. We'll see how things unfold. We still have possibly a long series ahead of us. It's going to be the Expo Control coming up next after the break. It's a 2-0 currently in our lower finals, and I'll tell you, Oklahoma Christian, one of those, hold up, let them cook a minute. They're doing the dang thing. Gus map 1, unbelievable. I mean, you don't talk about the difference maker of the series. He had at least 4 or 5 different critical moments.
Yeah, 4 or 5 different critical moments, and, well, he also had himself a massive quad feed when it came down to that final hard point within the first set as well. But this individual right here, Frosty, in the Search and Destroys, every single series he's played has just been a difference maker for this OCU roster. Absolutely insane scenes to be able to see what Oklahoma Christian were able to do. They took a 4-0 lead in the Search and Destroy, and although they did lose 2 rounds in a row, they simply did not relent off the pressure, knowing damn well they had the deeper playbook. They executed it perfectly.
At this point, Frosty's pretty much good for double digits every single time we see him in a Search and Destroy, it feels like. If not just that, maybe able to guaranteed to earn himself a score streak at one point or another throughout a search. He has been unbelievable. And with that, like we mentioned, the Eagles find themselves 2-0 up against Fisher to be huge, not just to beat them once, but to beat them twice. How big would it be for the mental to just completely regain, get ready to go, square up with Northwood again quickly? That would be great. However, this series is not over yet. We have an Expo Control coming up. Both teams have really preferred to see this in the map 3 slot. Only thing that we can really go back to is the simple fact that Oklahoma Christian didn't beat Fisher here yesterday.
It's even beyond that is that they had a 2-0 lead. They almost got reverse swept on the Expo Control yesterday in our winners round 1 match to conclude the evening. But the difference maker for me is that Oklahoma Christian, again, you said it, you see it right there, the top left side of your screen, are up 2-0. Room to play with, some breath on the airs of the lungs of the Eagles here, trying to bounce back from getting 3-0'd by Northwood just a few moments ago. What is this Expo Control going to offer? Talking a lot with the Falcons yesterday. They also agreed to my point as well. There were a lot of points in time through the 2 rounds that started off the Expo Control yesterday in winners round 1 that they could have honestly closed out. Gotta need it here.
All right. It's all about making those adjustments, finding a way to play your best COD right here, right now, especially if you're Fisher. Offense for Oklahoma Christian to start. Immediately on towards B. Not just 1, but 2 members are actually here. No contact made anywhere. Raze is holding the top hallway. Rex will chow out, find the free kill. Gus down low, looking to see if he can get a challenge over through window side. Zilli's going to threaten from the bottom. Cruz there to assist at range. First 2 kills good. Third one comes out, but second took a progress. Just barely gets locked before Gunzy could try to clear.
Yeah, I mean, it took 3 players to take down essentially the 2 that were there for Oklahoma Christian, just not really fully understanding where some of these players are located at. And Ray off the respawn just does not play any games. The only game he's playing is the stop back block. He's already over towards A.
Zilli gets 2 though over through Sauna side, and yeah, that's the problem is Fisher's so quick to recover on the bottom side of the minimap. They fight back on that first tick at A, depleted almost in full, and now the defense starts to make the play forward. Mid-bar positioning, decent for Cruz to find one. Silly takes the place of his fallen comrade, and Silly nearly gets a little line up there, bottom side of the map, but avoids it, keeps himself on 4, gets the regen, and now in a position to try to help Fisher get back in control defensively.
Losing Ramby over here previously is going to call for Gunzy to just try to maneuver his way back into a position to try to keep this zone contested. He's going to be in a 1v1 versus Ray. He's on the zone. Is Gunzy going to try to contest this? He's losing teammates over on the other side of Globe. Gunzy now in the contest spot. Ray needs to take this chow if they want this B control zone. Well, reinforcements are also here.
Though, they know exactly where he is. There's the stun, and Gus says, stay there, buddy. I got him. No worries. Gets the kill. And with that, an extra 60 seconds will be added. Minute 40 on the clock. Fisher still hold the numbers pretty significantly on the life count. Ramby going to further that point by taking down Frosty, and now all of a sudden Oklahoma Christian are stuck back at their spot.
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, they already dealt with Silly, who was over by the blue tent. The biggest issue is you don't know what else is over here by the plus. You got Gunzy. He's inside the diner. Ramby's pushing through inside a Globe on the stairs. Playing the head glitch to perfection. Frosty trying to find the trade. 9 HP. Doesn't matter. That's a tough gunfight no matter the way you shake it.
Slow down here if you're Oklahoma Christian. Just get everyone together. Gus making a solo play, but all these trades are turning out so significantly in favor of Fisher Esports. Continue to be the case. Ray gets his first kill of the round. Turns, almost finds shots into Gunzy, but was just hit up too much. Now we have an 18 playing up against 8. So, yeah, Fisher maybe kind of kicking themselves a little bit to not fully get a contest over towards A, or pretty much towards B, but, I mean, they have not even come close to dropping anything over towards this A zone.
I mean, if it was going to be the lives, it was certainly going to be the clock, because now Oklahoma Christian fully understanding, okay, we're not going to be able to do this through the middle of the map. We can't get back to the bar step. Somebody's got to run a route. Who's going to be the first one to try to do it. Finds the first. On a 2 spree as well. Can't get Gunny back up. Ramby will find that trade. However, more kills came through. They're on the A zone.
Got 3
players are stacking.
Did they have a trophy system here for this? Because Fisher are going to have to try to fly at the second tick of progress. Not fully locked. Contest starts to come through. Oh, no. No trophy system down. At least not one that could deal with silly Semtex. That will pretty much secure the round. Oklahoma Christian nearly a chance to lock in that second tick, but Fisher get back. They contest. And they will not see this second tick go over. So 4 ticks in total for the side of Oklahoma Christian's opening offense, but I'll tell you, that Fisher defense, something different over towards A.
Yeah, surely. I mean, you better hope that it was, considering the fact that how lackadaisical, I guess, that B defense truly was. They really wanted to try to get themselves over towards the A defense, try to get a player inside of the diner, get a player over by the blue tents and over by the bus, try to enforce that spawn trap that could end up coming through. And to be fair, they did have it for, what, about like 40, 45 seconds, maybe a little bit more than that as well. At the point where Oklahoma Christian finally recognized, okay, now we need to try to send players on the routes. They were down by casually 10 lives. They only had about like 30 seconds left in the round as well. And albeit, it almost got themselves 2 segments over by A. The lives were just too far gone. Nobody had a trophy system to keep them safe.
All right, Oklahoma Christian now for their chance on the defense. Fisher. Eyes towards A early. They're already on trophy system here for Ramby. Double stack will allow this first tick to start rapidly making some progress, but a big gunfight win early here from Goss on the bottom side of Saudi. He turns that into a second. Gunzy is hit, and Ray just runs right past him. Now comes back to the gunfight. I'm surprised he didn't just stop to take down Gunzy in the first place. First tick and a half will be locked, but the second tick will quickly be depleted, and Oklahoma Christian defensively will hold the life.
Spawning back up towards Globe. Nobody here defensively can be. They're still trying to find Rex. Fair, I don't blame you. Rex needs to be taken down, or it could be a massive problem. Gus will find at least the trade. You still have Silly to be worried about. He's the last player alive for Fisher, and they know he's at the B zone.
He actually stepped off the zone here for a moment. I think he realizes that his best play may be served playing deep, but no, Cruz shuts him down. Clock continues to tick. Frosty, big gunfight went up top towards windows, and Ray even gets involved. So now all of a sudden, Fisher Esports are scrambling on the offense. Ramby backs up. He'll hit back through pool and try to get back to the backside of this play at B, but Fisher have absolutely no ground to work with. 26 plays 18, and they haven't found any success at all through B.
Line 11 spree for all of Oklahoma Christian, and ever since you had Gus try to stop that A control zone capture, he saw on that 5 spree over by the blue tent. Players are starting to scramble. 30 seconds remain. Fisher trying to get themselves to B.
They've got members through over towards elevator side. Oklahoma Christian, I bet to this point, Gus is screaming, let me just get 6, please. Get that cruise missile, we'll be good to go. But Fisher are starting to battle back. 23 plays 17. Clock still stopped at 28 seconds. First tick less in at B zone. And there's not going to be a further attempt. Oklahoma Christian are going to chalk this. There's going to be a minute 28 in the clock, and the 21 plays 17.
That's the right call. Look, the call. Frosty actually has Gus bump forward off of the blue tent, trying to find the 6th kill in a very aggressive manner. Cruz is waiting for the exits, unloading the backside of the lobby. Everybody is inside the B zone. 60 seconds will be on towards the board. Gus will end up finding that 6th kill, gets the centering onto Silly, but that's a tough head glitch. 2 quick kills come through, but you still have players around the diner side.
Yeah, window control starting to come out here for Fisher Esports. Cruz will spawn up, and, well, Gunzy's waiting for him, and that's 3 straight kills here for Fisher. The other one still standing is Ray. He's playing bottom side Cafe, and he's already been pushed back. Second tick of progress is already in. Two-man stack is on. Ray's got to make the play. He's got to go. He has to contest this. Teammates from the front are not finding any success. Ray not going to get there either. It's just clean kills for Fisher, and they burst on towards Zay and never look back.
And again, that is just something that we have seen from Fisher. The Falcons have been doing that time and time again when it comes down to their opening offenses. Realistically, all of their offenses. You know, we actually got to see that versus the University of North America. Off the rip, they just wanted to go straight towards A. They get players inside a diner. They clear every of their defensive building setup. They get power positions. They get themselves on that A control zone. And even if they don't get the full capture, it's just about the kills, making sure that things stay remotely even through the middle of the map, and then they transition over towards B. Got a little hairy, but hey, an offensive win is an offensive win, and now Fisher are up 2-0.
Look at how that last spree went for Fisher. Everyone carries streaks into this next round, 2-0 up. Gus, first blood, Ray on towards A. Rossi trying to watch the side stairs, gets one. That may be good. He gets the second, steps away from the trade. Rex hunting, and finally the kill comes through. Cruz not in a position to get the trade off on him. And with that, it's just trying to battle for this Sonic control. Nice long-range shots. Cruz nearly gets the hip fire off, but back and forth. Pinstripe kill feed allows Oklahoma Christian to jump on. This could lead to an early A capture.
Look at the spawns also coming through offensive for Oklahoma Christian. They're actually spawning parallel over towards the A control zone. Nobody's really in a position to try to stop the second segment. Is already locked. And, well, I think the third segment might just have to be gone. Silly is here trying to contest it. Finds the first. The trade comes through. That third segment is looking pretty darn good.
They're going to try this again, though. Rex is going to get to the front, contest, drop a trophy system right on top of himself, and gets the kill. A little bit ballsy, I'd say, from Gus trying to take him down. And now all of a sudden, Oklahoma Christian, they were trying to transition to B. They haven't even fully captured the A zone yet. 19 plays 19. Fisher, they're starting to get forward on this map defensively. And Oklahoma Christian are stuck at the middle of the map. They don't have either zone they can really hit to at the moment. Rex holding down over towards B. Silly's playing deep over on the A zone. And as Gus steps on, surely Fisher trying to make the play to kick him off, and they will.
Man, massive plays from Rex off the respawn just to go play the forklift, back elevator side, deny more B presence, but now it's a little bit of an opening. Those segments have been captured over at B. The third segment at A, it will be depleted. Oklahoma Christian are trailing by 3 lives, and just quickly, Rex up top glass here in the projector room is trying to find more kills.
Having a hard time tracking down these OC members, though, and the kills will come out. Hold on a second. Gus was keeping the defense interested over by A. This will allow the second tick of progress to get locked in. Gunzy pops steady, trying to find these kills off the exit. Cruz gets another, though, on transition. And hold on a second. Oklahoma Christian may have an opportunity. If they can find these kills on the exit, they could possibly transition for this last tick at A, but a team nade makes things a little bit more difficult, and Oklahoma Christian will hold for now, playing at 11v12.
It's very much so might come down to this. A lot of time left on the they have Cruz is at least trying to find a lot of more players that are over by the 10 side, but elsewhere, Rex and Andy are shutting down the flank over by Lobby. The last player will be Ray, and that's a big position to end up holding if you are Ray. It might pull more defenders back, but you also have to be worried about the front if you are the Falcons.
Cruz is going to get called in here. Oklahoma Christian. They have to find a way to break through this. Cruz is looking spent over towards Sawed aside. Gunzy just barely over the banister inside the interior stairs. Gets another key kill. 10 plays 6. Need to get this last tick. If you're Oklahoma Christian, you want to see this control extend a little bit further out. Rex, dicey battle with Cruz, but really the big thing here for Oklahoma Christian is whatever this is, it has to be perfect. You don't have any lives really remaining outside of just one. First kill good for Frosty. He gets traded. Gunzy just holding in a corner. Timing surprises, and Gunzy's going to get 2. And that will surely allow Fisher to get on the board here with their first map win.
1v8 Frosty, let's see it. You're crazy and search and destroy. Give it to me, I need it. Never mind. All right. Woo! Fisher, stay alive, and well, better late than never, I suppose I always say, Alan. At least it comes through in a pretty swift 3-0 in the Expo control. Again, these are players that have found themselves in positions like this time and time again. They know that they cannot be counted out. They know that they cannot be denied any sort of Call of Duty that can be played at this level, man. And honestly speaking, Oklahoma Christian, they might have had a 2-0 lead, but Expo control plays right into the hands of Fisher Esports, just fully understanding the task at hand. Always getting these players in annoying positions. How crazy was Rex every single time he was up on the map? He was always in that position to try to cut down reinforcements. It opened up the floodgates for players like Gunzy to get reenacted, almost like rejuvenated in this series. I mean, he was not even there in that map number 2. He takes that break in between 2 and 3. He comes back into this Expo control. He is right back to his devious ways.
And, you know, in retrospect, kind of thinking about, you know, what Fisher has talked about when it comes to, you know, Silly and Ramby maybe not really having the comfortability on control. Fisher have been allowed to play Expo control every single series except for once. So now you're starting to see, again, like we were hearing from Gunsy, is like, let these guys get comfortable, let them start to step in, and they will absolutely provide the success we need. We just saw that in almost exact form of what he was trying to express to us. So for Fisher, you're getting a little lucky that you've been able to kind of see Expo as much as you have throughout the entirety of this weekend.
Sure.
And now you all of a sudden start to consider the fact that you just took a convincing win. Momentum's back kind of towards your side. You're starting to feel a little bit more confident in your ability to beat these guys. And you're going to a Mercado hardpoint where you've been really solid so far, including that was map 1 when these two teams have played last time around. So Fisher's got to be thinking we're primed to go to a map 5.
It'll also be a little bit of a warm-up thing as well. Let's not forget that Oklahoma Christian also just got off of a crazy, well, close first 2 maps, I will say that, but
Fair, yeah.
maybe not so much. But hey, able to at least come back through the last 2 maps for Fisher. Not exactly good. The hard point was close, but talk about a resurgence coming out from Fisher. Ramby, even again, I feel like when he gets to Expo control, the more comfort that he continuously finds for himself, he continues to deliver on the goods. 22 and 16, 17 of those kills were non-traded. Keep in mind you, on defense, he was an issue. 2,600 damage to boot was just always that one pillar that opened up so many different opportunities for Rex to be in an annoying position, for Gunsy to push the line of scrimmage that much further forward. The non-traded kills from top to bottom for Fisher,
pretty good.
It's just absolutely insane.
Oklahoma Christian just never really felt like they could really get themselves going. And a lot of those offensive hits felt a little bit, I won't say desperate, but like they were pretty one-dimensional. Maybe that's the best way of putting it through. Like it's just like, all right, well, we'll jump on. And right at the end, you kind of said that everyone's just on stacking. Let's just hope that we have it.
Especially when that last segment was like so close to being captured. Like you almost felt like that desperation was ensued. It's just like, okay, we just need that one last push, but there was that certain hesitation. Instead of waiting for the reinforcements, they just try to fly over towards the A zone. They lost so many lives along the way.
Yep. So now, map number 4 comes up. It's a Mercado hardpoint. And just to kind of now take the conversation a step further, these two teams played yesterday. This was map number 1. It was a 250 to 182. It's a very winnable map for Oklahoma Christian. It just kind of felt like they started off a little bit slow, not really quite feeling the flow of the map, the tempo of what they wanted to play at. They eventually started to kind of piece things back together, but it was just a little bit too late.
Just a little bit. And honestly, that was both Fisher, not only in the Mercado map number 1, but also the Hydra map 4, is that things were close consistently.
Yeah.
But then it always came down to those last few hard points where you had Gunsy find that next level, where you had Rex starting to find that next gear. And then Oklahoma Christian just, I wouldn't necessarily say they ran out of gas, but they just didn't have that 6th gear. You know, they were like that, like a Chevy Tahoe 4-speed, and they just couldn't end up getting up to the 5th gear because it doesn't exist. But I think that that's just something that you have to understand if you are Oklahoma Christian. The other side of the lobby itself, they are very, very fast. They love to outpace their opponents. But then you have to go back into that hotel hardpoint, and that was actually what was good for you. It was the 2 players on the bottom side of your screen. Well, Gus hasn't actually had a seat. But Frosty and Gus were definitely the 2 players that were able to not only just meet the pressure, but were also able to outpace and outmaneuver Gunsy and Rex on the other side for Fisher.
Yeah, apparently we're letting the players take breaks whenever they want to. So much for that map 2 to map 3 and map 4 to map 5 thing. So while we're waiting on Gus, we'll just go ahead and step off to a break. We're kind of killing ourselves here on air. So we'll do that, head off. When we're ready to go, it'll be a Mercado hardpoint. We come back right after this. Welcome back. We're in map number 4. Fisher Esports, a convincing control and Expo gets them on the scoreboard here for the series set. Now it's just down to can you go back-to-back and send this to a map 5, and well, I'll tell you, pretty solid start here for Fisher through this first hardpoint.
Yeah, Gunsy's making a pretty good argument for it. Isn't a nice start off him 2-0, trying to cause a little bit more space towards the back. That's going to be the next one up, and while he is delivering on the same goods that we got on that hotel map number 1. That's a big kill to find for yourself, because now it opens up at least an opportunity to try to recontest through tunnel ahead of P2, but the gunfights don't come through convincingly. Fisher has successfully flipped the spawn.
He holds on for 2, almost gets Ramby in the 3rd, but a little bit of an awkward gunfight playing with elevation. So yes, exactly right, Fisher. Get a little bit of the scrap time. Hold on towards Cantina's side. Oklahoma Christian trying to fight the battle on 2 fronts here. A couple of plays for the exit time. Also trying to play towards the right side of the map. That's not really going to fully work out. Now Ray finds himself completely alone by himself in tunnel, and he really doesn't have the opportunity to do too much. Stun comes through. He says, take one of those. I'll throw one myself. Fisher going to be tested here around the back. First gunfight good for Frosty. Here comes the rest of the hit. Cruz up top. Decent damage onto Ramby. One in the corner, though. Gunsy turns it into a double. How about it? And yeah, Fisher, get the read, get the hold. Just Ray left. And he's actually turned it into a double, but Silly still holding his life. Surely just gets this and then gets out.
It's a big 30 seconds. Gets the 1v1 versus Ray. And yeah, you're absolutely right. And well, at 1 HP, he comes sprinting back in. Cruz will literally throw a nade into Silly's chest and we'll take him down for the cause. 20 seconds still have to fight for here as far as P2 is concerned. And the only player that's going to be here to at least fight for the scrap time would be Gunsy. There's 2 players in and around the hard point. Won't even be able to find the first. The reason being is because Fisher, well, they already chalked it. They went to the middle of the map. They're set up here. It's
isn't really all that bad, though, for Oklahoma Christian. You got to give props to Ray for being able to hold his life as long as he did and making things a bit mixy there on the old scrap. Now you've got an opportunity with nades starting to connect where Oklahoma Christian could actually threaten this new setup very, very quickly. Silly trying to watch from the staircase. Rex, oh, nice little pinch through Warehouse. Shuts down one, but Oklahoma Christian through the hard point, finding a couple of kills. Contest now. Cruz trying to hold his life, and no, not going to happen. Gus, last one standing. There won't be a team kill, but ultimately Fisher will be fine for the break.
Yeah, that was just a little bit too much, but Oklahoma Christian was trying to manifest that push, trying to contest his hard point. Fisher actually ended up spawning closer over toward the forklift side. So from the outside looking in, 28 seconds, you might just have to chalk this if you are Oklahoma Christian.
That's
2
tough.
more players that were in a position to maybe try to contest it, but now you are forced to try to play for the rotation towards New. The player that would have been able to do anything about it would have been Cruz, but now he's just playing for a couple of exits as his teammates set up around the barbershop.
Silly's on 5 here. He is 1 away from a cruise missile, and he's going to use Gunsy as bait. This is all about trying to get number 4 in white a kill. He's going to make a play over towards the backside of Warehouse, trying to get across, but Cruz has got him pinned back, and that will be enough for Gus to finish off the kill. So no cruise missile earned. Oklahoma Christian opens up barbershop to their name, but boy, I'll tell you, that was a lot of scrap time forfeited for free. You have to be clean here, and so far, so good here for the Eagles.
Ray able to win a big gunfight actually versus Rex inside Cantina. That'll at least confirm that none of this hit is actually going to be coming from the Cantina side. All of it's going to be coming from the P7 and through the parking lot side.
Cruz gets the first. Nice read on the Gunsy. Huge second elimination. Ramby just a bit deeper on towards the back fans, but Silly does find one. Opportunity here for Fisher, trying to work their way in. Ray deals with the first. Here comes the rest of the hit. It's all individual, though. Frosty laying prone. Oh, he gets hit by a Semtex. That may be the difference maker in that gunfight because he was in a really good spot to try to chip away at that Fisher break. But ultimately, the Falcons will find their way back in. Scrap time about 17 seconds goes their way.
Yep, that'll put them over 100 points. And look at the rotation going back over towards the elephant room just in front of this tin warehouse inside of the courtyard. This is a big gunfight. Fight for yourself. Ramby has some assistance from Rex. And now you can get a player up top here. Still, you have Eagles members just outside the courtyard, inside a dark. Ramby does not give a hoot. He will take it down in kind. Last player is inside the hard point. Kill still coming through. Fisher turns scrap into additional.
Go though. Rampy is going to be caught. Last player left, Silly. Does win the final gunfight. No one can get under the hard point for the time being. Though Ray, big gunfight win over through mid lane. He does get traded out, but it eliminates the pressure from Fisher up top on the second floor. Gus, good read in towards the outside cross. And now it's just down to getting a read on where is Rex got off to. You can see Gus is looking for him, but Rex holds his life. And Oklahoma are going to trust that Gus can just hold this by himself. And now he's gotten the read, tries to push out to isolate the gunfight, but it won't work out. And once again, Fisher will get a hefty amount of scrap time.
That's a hell of a winning condition if I've ever seen. And how many times have Fisher been able to at least contest the early 20 seconds as far as a hard point is concerned, and then always confirm the scrap time so far through these 5 hard points so far. Back towards Cantina we go. Frosty trying to at least find the first Gunsy will get the better from inside of the hard point. Gus, so much to look at. Throws the shoulder through the doorway, down to 1 HP. Gunsy will chase that down. Fisher Esports inside of the hard point first.
This is how it starts to get ugly right here, right now. Fisher, 50 seconds on this hard point, looking to put together their hold. It would blow the lid wide off this game. Oklahoma Christian just trying to find a way to get back in. Double trophies, hold that front door. Frosty trying to work his way through. Nothing, though. Absolutely nothing to find for Oklahoma Christian. Rex getting 2. Massive for it. 30 seconds to fight. Split and spawn situation. Gus tested on the back alley. Fisher deals with the play from the opposite side. It's just one more to grab, and uh-oh, here we go. Fisher Esports, we're going to get a full 60 here on Cantina.
And this is where things absolutely spiraled out of control, but Fisher have been an absolute nuisance in the past 3-4 hard points so far in this first set, where they've been able to at least confirm 20 seconds on the front and back end of each individual hardpoint. Yesterday, Alan, they were able to string together about 80 to almost 90 points from the P6 to P7. Oklahoma Christian understand that. They cut all the way through the middle of the map. You have players spawning behind each other as well on two different sides of the coin as well. But you lost track of numbers. Gunsy's on a 4 spree, looking for number 5. Rex will take it away from him, but Fisher Esports are in the hardpoint first again.
Yeah, the Falcons just indomitable right now. I mean, it's just too much time has been given up by Oklahoma Christian trying to play for rotations, and they're just not putting together the significant holds that they need. Even here towards parking lot, they were there first. Doesn't seem to make much of a difference. Gunsy on 4 off the reload. Going to be tested here around the back as he loses Ramby in the corner. Here comes the Chows. Gus for a double. Gunsy, goodness, the finesse. Next level, but Ray locks down the shot. Silly trying to bounce in, not going to work out. Ray holds the hard point. 20 seconds of time here for Oklahoma Christian, but oh boy, I'll tell you, they have to do some miracle working over here as we get back to market again.
Yeah, I mean, you're down by just under 100 points going in towards the second set. P1 contested, and you have to maintain power positionings, and that just allows players like Fisher, or on Fisher rather, just to constantly just lurk in these very annoying positions, and Gunsy keeps resetting his dead silence. He's flying over here by P2 Allen. He has some assistance as well, and that always keeps Oklahoma Christian on the back foot.
He's an attempt for Gus, trying to eliminate the numbers that are pushing through. Ray clears out the hard point. He's on 3 in a row. Oklahoma Christian doing exactly what's needed. Find time here on the first hard point. See if you can keep your life, and then, of course, you have to win rotation. Otherwise, this game will just be flat out over. And, well, Fisher, 3, make it 4. Straight kills, full team wipe in play. They're earning time here on the first hill, and on top of that, they've got the rotation unlocked here. Still 30 seconds to fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, and that's 30 seconds. You can still realistically close out the game. I mean, if you're Frosty, you're over by the gate. You got to go and pitch inside this hard point. That works out wonderfully. Gus will be there over by the yellow van as well. It's still time that you got to keep contested, but then you also have to flood towards the new hill.
Yeah, this is fighting the war on 2 fronts from the whole way out here. If you're Oklahoma Christian, Silly locking down tunnel. Has teammate support nearby. Rex also calling in the cruise missile, just trying to soften up the potential break attempt here on the exit for Oklahoma Christian. It will not fully land, though. 2v2 for the new hard point. Rex outside double gate, finding one, but how about it? Cruz getting it done maybe by himself. No, Gunsy from behind takes down his former teammate, and that will likely be enough for Fisher Esports to win this game. Even if the break comes through, it's just, I don't know how you find 110 straight seconds here if you're Oklahoma Christian based on how this map has gone so far.
Crazier things have happened, but crazier things will not be happening. You got players inside the hard point, Allen. Ray was the player that had to contest it. Fisher Esports will not be denied. The reverse sweep is still on the cards as Fisher Esports take map number 4 cleanly and cleaner than they did in map 1 yesterday.
Yeah, that's the biggest point. And man, it's just one of those things that you start to see it, and maybe if you were very intently listening, you can kind of hear us talking about it. It's like, when do you start rotating with just under 30 seconds still remaining on the old hill, and you're going to scrap away and give away essentially 25 plus seconds? It's just, man, you better put together a full 60 at new. And when that doesn't happen, the score is still at that point was still pretty tight. You know, we were inside 30, 40 seconds between them. But, man, that one rotation doesn't go your way. And all of a sudden, Fisher puts together a full 60 and the game just feels over. So, tough calls there, I would say, for Oklahoma Christian, giving away so much time voluntarily. And Fisher, at the end of the day, say, thank you very much. Let's go to the map 5.
Yeah, exactly that. It unfortunately has to unfold the way that it did. It's Mercado Las Almas, baby. You got 7 hard points in a single rotation. Then you take a look at the way that you had to set up for Oklahoma Christian over by P2 initially. Gets broken up within the first 20. You contested at least maybe that first time. You're down on 25 seconds, maybe 30 seconds to try to fight for. Then you have to rotate over towards the elephant room. And once you get the setup over there, again, you get broken up. The initial time is there for Fisher. You contested for all of 15 seconds. And then Fisher worked their way back in for the back 20 seconds. So then when you rotate over towards P4, that's when you put yourself in a situation where you're like, okay, now we got to somehow turn P4 into a full 60.
Yeah.
And although we have seen it before, the way that we've been seeing Fisher just manipulate the map on Mercado Las Almas in this specific head-to-head, Oklahoma Christian just did not have the tools to deal with it yet again. Not saying that Frosty was a non-benefactor, but he did not drop the same numbers. Same could be said for Gus when it came down to that hotel hardpoint map. One, obviously apples to oranges when you're comparing the two maps, but still, Fisher Esports have come alive in the previous 2 maps.
Yeah, there's definitely a level when we see the scoreboard of outslaying that comes through, but the scoreboard isn't as bad as you think it would be, and at least the kill-death ratio, considering the fact that this was a 100-plus point game at the end of it. It just came down to the simple fact, like you mentioned, just manipulation of spawns. Fisher just getting free time on scrap allows them to play for easy exits. It just felt like the map was almost too free in a number of critical moments where it really should have been contested maybe a little bit more heavily compared to what we're used to watching, whether that be in challengers or the CDL level. So Oklahoma Christian, unfortunately, not quite able to get anything going there on the Mercado, and now the gloves are off. El Asilo Search and Destroy is our map number 5, and to my knowledge, I don't think we've seen an El Asilo Search for either of these two teams to this point.
Yeah. El Asilo Search and Destroy.
Oh, against Davenport once for Fisher.
They lose that as well.
They did round 11.
6-5. Yeah. Well, we'll take that with a grain of salt. I mean, again, this Fisher Esports roster, even on this day, I know that it's only been just narrowly around 24 hours, but it's a different roster. Both Rax and Gunzy confirm that the longer that they stay alive in this tournament, the better that they get on. And the same could be said about this best of 5 series. Just look at how everything has panned out for us here, Alan. 250 to 228. Honestly, that map number 1 could have gone either way,
yeah.
The way that it ended up coming down to it. Mercado Search and Destroy, I mean, history damn near doomed to repeat itself, just a little bit better for OCU this time around. But how convincing was the Expo Control and the Mercado Hardpoint? How much momentum is truly on the side of the Fisher Falcons leading into this map number 5?
Also, small oversight. Oklahoma Christian just played Northwood on Asilo. That also went round 11.
Sure did.
They also lost it. So both teams have only played it once this weekend. Both teams have lost round 11s on it. Not much to take away from it, all things told, but still something for us to kind of chew on here while we're getting ready to load on in for map number 5. It looks like Ramby has stepped up and walked away. So with that in mind, we will take a break. We will come back for map number 5 as soon as Ramby is ready to go. Don't go far. Map 5 coming up next. Welcome back, everybody. A map 5 affair here for the lower finals and a chance to avoid being known as the third place team of the 2023 CCL season. I don't think I've ever said anything quite like that before.
Well, when you frame it like that, it sounds horrible.
Just making stuff up on the fly here. But we got El Asilo Search for maybe our teams will start making stuff up on the fly here because both of them have seen this map go round 11, and the one time they played it this weekend, both of them lost those round 11. Oklahoma Christian on the opening offense, eyes towards A, and Frosty will see, yep, no one's here. Can we get the bomb in and get a plant here?
Love to see that Frosty was the first point in instead of Ray. Now, first blood will still be collected. That was actually from Rex up top over by Gus. Not a whole lot of space being denied, though. Gunzy potentially looking just to lurk over by inside of Kegs, waiting for the A plant.
This is tough timing because Frosty's still inside the site. Ray will join him, but they may get doubled up if Gunzy pops this at the right time. Plant will be in. Ray pops up, doesn't fall. Opening spam, decent. Oh, wait, how has that all happened? Rex pushed through the opposite door. The stun actually takes him down. Cruz now following up. He gets the first Semtex out. Gunzy thought about the defuse, but popped off it for a moment. Repositions could help up top. Ramby will get the kill, and Gunzy will stick to get the round.
It's a very weird search and destroy round.
Very weird search and destroy round.
I mean, Rex had to have been 3 HP or less. What is it? 2 damage
Yeah.
is what the stun does. So, yeah, about 2 HP is what he was left with, spammed through. And I honestly, I mean, if you could stay alive inside the bomb site there for Frosty as well as Ray, Cruz was actually making the heads-up play. I don't think he was locking eyes too much with Silly over by the top tower positioning, but Cruz makes the flank play happen, essentially comes back bottom lockers and just tries to keep everybody trapped inside of the Kegs area. Doesn't work out. Fisher get the kills required, and the fuse soon to follow.
Okay, here we go. First offense attempt for Fisher. Rex going to go high. Rest of the team largely holding towards Billiards. Ooh, big stun comes up for Oklahoma Christian. Dylan is not able to check the opening cross. That has led to Cruz getting really far forward defensively for free. No one's even looking for him in this corner. Nades will litter the A site. No one home. Silly tries to get the prediction off. Gets tagged on the way. Cruz still playing real far deep inside Billiards. Now he makes his move. First kill in. Changes the weapon to the Vaznev. Says, I'll take the fresh mag. But the bomb's still going to get planted here. Fisher have a pretty solid idea of how they want to set up this 3v4 post plant.
They're all mostly around checkers,
What a
though.
check.
Silly! Can't get the better of Cruz, though. And you also have Frosty clearing everything over by the house. Now they know these last 2 players are around this side of the map.
Cruz is going to go up top, but Dylan should surely hear this. No dead silence for Cruz. There's the pop through. Gunzy, meanwhile, on the opposite side of this play, has gotten 2, and Rex! No, not quite able to barrel stuff Ray. So now Gunzy for the ace and a 1v2. Resets to go high. Dead silence still in play for him. Ray has hopped on for the defuse. Gunzy can't see it. Drops down. Doesn't find the kill. Good help from Cruz, who now is on 3 in a row as Oklahoma Christian will tie it up at 1.
just narrowly getting out with his life. Good coverage, at least coming through. Gunzy was about to make the play happen, and as much as you wish that he could end up holding the spree, maybe give up the round, Cruz was just playing at the arcade machine, just expecting the drop down to come through, and boy, was he right, just to at least make sure that the prediction shots could not come through that crispy clean for Gunzy. We'll say this much, the bomb wasn't actually stretched to the position to where Gunzy actually could have ended up seeing that defuse coming through up top, so a little bit of discombobulation, I suppose, as far as how that bomb needed to be planted, but nonetheless, Cruz will now find himself up on 3 in a row.
Oklahoma Christian gonna make some noise. Oh boy, they're gonna make some big noise here at B. Cruz has already gotten real far forward. He does have dead silence. Gus is watching one cross, Frosty watching the other, and Ray is just, he's gonna be told to stay alive. But Ramby up top at AC, he's gonna get the first. And with this, Fisher are gonna find a free second floor above bar. Ray is stuck. I mean, he's got nowhere to go. Gus will get one, doesn't expect the second turns, and no, Gunzy will not be world star today. Ray stunned up, Gunzy finishes him off, and Fisher Esports are saying that was a little too easy.
It certainly was. I mean, that's also what the benefactor is of everybody from Oklahoma Christian. Well, not everybody, but the majority of your player base is going across the football field. And by the point in time where you're over by the football field and that player top AC sees at least 2 players, that is more than enough confirmation for 2 players that are on top of the A control zone, push past the barbecue, and then get inside of administration. From there on out, you have the better of the power positions. Late stuns as well, being held by Gunzy as well, confirms that Ray is inside the stairs. And that's all you essentially need. Very quick round on Alasilo there for 3.
Next offensive attempt, Gunzy much better than his map 2, tell you that much. 5-1 start from him. Just a little stun to make sure no one defensively has gotten up towards Kegs. Nade cooked up as well. That's tossed deep over towards the defensive side on this cross. Both teams just kind of vying for position right now down this mid lane. No one's going to see each other nor tag each other with nades, so everything will stay neutral. 60 seconds on the clock, 4v4.
That silence is being popped. Gunzy's looking to make some moves. Rex will be first blooded. Fisher is still flying for this plan today.
Oh, Cruz is going to get all the way around the back, though. Plant's going to come through, but Cruz will see this exit, surely. Rest of the defense, though, is still lingering outside at B. And as Silly drops, hold on a second. Cruz has a chance to, do this. Just try to see how many players are inside. You'll know that one player's behind the couches. That's good for Frosty to follow up. Ramby, the only one staying inside, can't get outside the door. Would have been hard-pressed to deal with all 3 Eagles that were flying at him anyways. But, man, I'll tell you, just as easy as Fisher was saying last defense was good for them, I think Oklahoma Christian may have said the same thing in this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's that first blood that comes through on a Rex who, again, just, I mean, that's so many times now. I definitely have to go towards a second hand to count the amount of times that I've caught Rex with unfortunate COD timing when he's up top and misses the timing ever so slightly. And it's like you were saying, all of the delay, especially through the football field, albeit with the bomb being planted, was mostly just to make sure that there was nobody lurking inside a house. Once you don't get chowed out from that area of the map for a certain amount of time, then you can do the little jump up on top of the fence wall. Gus ends up seeing one player up top administration, and then everybody is just stuck inside the A bomb site. That's where the last 2 players were located at. So wonderfully executed there from Oklahoma Christian, mostly from the flank for Cruz around the back.
Oklahoma Christian going to get quick into tiles here. Maybe even further than that. Frosty's just trying to escort Ray forward. And it's just a raw peek, blind peek over towards patio side. They may have seen Silly. Frosty may have an opportunity to catch timing. He's going to try to mantle over the top. This is a wide open bottom part of the map, though. Silly is seen. Shots are in. Frosty chasing, but Silly gets away.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Run, Frosty, run! And right into the waiting arms of Gunzy. That's a big first blow to have for yourself. Now, Ray, he is quite literally up creek without a paddle. Frosty was supposed to be the opener to find a pick to get that bomb planted today.
Cruz is actually making a rotation to tower here. He may catch Silly on this small little lurk in towards the outside courtyard. Just comes down to will he actually see him, because Silly's actually playing behind the boxes, but Cruz is going to make a dead silence play. He has to find at least one. Trying to clear out bottom side lockers. Hasn't seen anybody yet. Dead silence started to expire, and he hasn't made contact with anybody or anything. And at this point, Oklahoma Christian's going to be saying, where the hell are Fisher at? And the answer's not good. They're behind you. Ray falls. Gunzy gets the kill. Now Cruz by himself on the wrong side of the map with no bomb.
No bomb, no time. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And do not also give Cruz isolated 1v1s. Do not also give Cruz isolated 1v1s. Crying out loud. I mean, Fisher Esports, again, I mean, it's mostly all off of just the extension play that comes through from Frosty. Again, just trying to maybe find that pick onto Silly after seeing just mere pixels through the metal stairs. Once he ends up at least getting the damage, he throws a shoulder, and at least he doesn't over-chow for it. But then he gets caught in the mantle with Gunsy just waiting up in top kitchen window, leading to barbecue catwalk. So, very tough situation. Oklahoma Christian trying to play 4D chess. Fisher just holding on strong.
Not getting too overeager, it feels like right now from either side on the defensive part of this map. Gunsy, nade cooked, up top. It does land. Stun to follow. Oh, that was an offensive stun that comes through, and Frosty uses it maybe as an opportunity to catch one by surprise. Bomb not even in a position to be planted at the moment, but Frosty caught by Silly. That gets him his first kill, and now all of a sudden Gunsy can make an attempt to plant.
That's the biggest change as far as an offense is concerned. Silly lurking inside the house, just waiting for the cut to come out. Oklahoma Christian, though, quick on the flank, trying to retake this from the offensive side.
They're going to re-wrap all the way back around. Ooh, Cruz. If you can reset this dead silence, maybe there's a chance here. He does find Silly, but I think it was too late to reset the full Deddy. Ray surely saw Gunsy, but Cruz chows with him. No worries. Now it's just down to Ramby. Faznev had. He's got the clutch position up top, but he's got to be able to find an angle. Shots are good. Finds the kill. Steps away. Still has a Semtex as well, mind you. Shots are in again. Semtex flushes it back in. No one can touch this, and no one's going to be able to mantle in time. And just get down, Mr. President. Not going to work out. The Vaznev still too strong. And the collat comes out as Ramby clutches.
The big two differences for me was Silly lurking inside the house, and then also the bomb being stretched all of maybe like 2 inches, in-game inches, over towards the right side, towards the window. The death silence gets popped by Ramby. He re-wraps around the back top admin and completely blows the play open for Oklahoma Christian. To be fair, Cruz and Ray, they were able to flip the map pretty convincingly, keep it mind you, but with Ramby staying alive and having the utility late in the round, will garner Fisher a 2-round lead in map number 5.
4-2. Oklahoma Christian need to break the trend now in their own right. They need to find an offensive win. And this time, Frosty's kind of has them. He wants to go quick just to get Ray inside this bomb site. Stun, Semtex are out. Frosty just going to check outside behind the couch. That's the entry, but no one has any idea that Rex is here. Oh, my. This could get real nasty. There's the check. Bomb planted, though. And wait a second. Rex is a little bit caught by surprise. Still takes down Frosty. Gunsy follows up. And now it's just down to throw your nades. Clear up the top. Ramby's on his way. But Gus down low. May have broke the timing, but Ramby up and over gets the kill. Last one left to find is Cruz. He's still playing the clutch position for a 1v3 of his own. He has to check. Gunsy's on. Stops off for a moment. Resets. Cruz misses the shots, and Silly finds the kill. Gunsy allowed to defuse, and it's series point for Fisher.
Bomb planted just a little bit too close to the couch side. Couldn't see him from the top side. It is the most minuscule things that gives away that one clutch position that it forces Cruz to then drop down after finding the trade onto Ramby, who's having himself a hell of a map number 5. Keep in mind you, but Cruz can only do so much. Had to drop down to try to get Gunsy off of the defuse, and to be fair, he did, but, in a 1v2, he's going to get collapsed over by the arcade machine. Series point for Fisher to complete the reverse sweep Oklahoma Christian trail by 3 rounds.
Oh, boy. Gonna have to be 4 in a row. Cruz at 10-5. Ray having a hard time getting it going. Frosty empty on this map at the moment. Fisher are going to take their time. Oklahoma Christian getting aggressive on this defense. They did get caught by this. Silly's got a really well-timed Semtex, but it actually doesn't get quite around the wall. So he will not 100% know if there's a flank here or not, and Fisher are still just going to bide their time and see if they could catch someone on a rotation early for OC.
Ray rips dead silence just to get up the tower, and now he's going to slow roll back down on the opposite side. Silly's watching this.
Yep, finds the kill. Trade comes out, though. Big 1v1 here for Silly. He's going to get it versus Frosty. Seed, and oh, goodness, nearly gets the win. Gunsy looking for the plant, not going to be allowed to. Cruz stabilizes, and Rex. This would be a 1v3 for the ages. Dead silence already in play. Has to go quickly, 35 seconds on the clock. He's not going to make contact. He's got to rewrap this back over through checkers. And well, as he does, he runs out of the dead silence. Now everything slows convincingly. And there's not going to be much of a look from this position either. All players just tucked away. Cruz down low on the bunks. Sound cues come through, and there's the triple check. No worries there for OC.
Terrifying. Burst through one door. 3 players check on 3 different angles. 1 round at a time for Oklahoma Christian. Again, the usual suspect when it comes down to the Eagles. A Frosty non-benefactor so far. Cruz has been stepping up in a massive way. But do not let these Eagles spread their wings, because it becomes a very crazy circumstance, especially behind Cruz. 12-5 now. Frosty only at 3-6. Still series point for Fisher. Offense for Oklahoma Christian to try to keep themselves alive further.
Double stack down low defensively on A for Fisher. Frosty, dead silence, looking to hit around. And he's gotten around, but Gunsy sees him. And instead of pushing through, he decides to take the gunfight. How critical that decision may be. Now Ray is kind of stuck. He backs away, doesn't want to give away the bomb. 3v4 situation, though, and long-range shots come out. Cruz able to find one, but Rex immediately for the response, and Gus now has to come assist through mid.
So that's a frag. And Ray can't move. He needs Gus to check through the middle of the map. But every exit's being watched. Silly's now top tower.
Still one frag remaining, though, Gus. Dead silence going to expire. He clears out outside. Checks the outside. Gunsy getting one, though. Now it's just down to Gus. This will be a 1v3 for him. Resets everything. 35 seconds on the clock. Silly watching this angle. He's been seen. He's been seen. Gus, long-range shots are good. Now to the 1v1. Rex wants the challenge. Oh, he's almost caught, though. Rex stuck in a corner. Shots back, but no. Gus gets the 1v3, and Oklahoma Christian stay alive.
What a massive clutch after a unfortunate critical error from Frosty, who tries to take the gunfight inside the bomb site. Gunsy takes him down. Cruz also gets cut down up top as well, trying to get some spam shots into Gunsy. Rex was down low, bottom lockers, ready to take that challenge as well. But dang, Gus will not be denied. Brings this within one after a 1v3 clutch. What's the offense going to be played out for for Fisher Esports? What's the defense response going to be from Oklahoma Christian?
Gus is on 5. If he is able to earn a cruise missile for round 11, that would be, or even just round 10.
Just for this one, yeah. The force round 11 would be huge.
Yeah, for real. Ray is playing aggressive through courtyard this time around. He's got Cruz watching him. Doors are still shut, though, on this play. And Ray's actually the trophy carrier here. So Bob's going to get planted by Gunsy. And the retake for Oklahoma Christian has to start with Frosty first and foremost. He takes down one. He may be able to pressure the bomb here. Fisher has to check this. Ray, he gets activated, finds a kill. There's the follow-up. It's just down to Silly for a 1v3 of his own. Finds the first. Has to check for the defuse. Ray guarding. Gus defusing. Silly shut down. Round 11 on the way.
I know you don't believe in it, Alan, but hey, it was 5-2 and then went to 5-3. I don't know. I think that's how the curse is supposed to work, buddy. But hey,
soft 5-3
the soft 5-3 curse may very much so be on the cards. I am not superstitious at all. All I can tell you is that this Oklahoma Christian roster is playing with the heat here in the previous 3 rounds, forcing out the round 11. Gus is still on 5 in a row, 1 kill away. I would definitely reckon that they would end up getting the defensive side. It mostly comes down to the kills, and that is going to be the case. Oklahoma Christian, Gus can post up anywhere.
Yeah.
He can get baited for as well and try to get the 6th kill. Could be the difference maker.
Gus is going to go up top towards this corner. See if anyone challenges through B alley. Not to be. Frosty playing aggressive. He's got that silence out. Ooh. Maybe an idea here brewing. Nades are being held. Frosty didn't toss anything through bottom billiard. Here comes the check. He catches Gunsy, and he gets away with his life. Semtex to cover. Stuns are out, but Fisher cannot challenge. Frosty gets the critical first blood. 3v4. Ramby, Rex trying to isolate. There's help here for Oklahoma Christian, though. Rex is stuck at bottom side keg, and everything comes to a pause, but Cruz is flipping the map.
Yep. He's got that silence, Alan. He is wrapping all the way around the back. Elsewhere, Ramby's going to be able to at least collect the bomb. Rex is through kegs. Big kill to find. 3v3.
Cruz does not have the dead silence anymore. He has to wait for some sort of contact somewhere else. And look at the bomb flip. Fisher are thinking about B. Gus is in the way. Silly's still holding to see if he can catch someone on the flank. And Ramby has no idea what's nearby. Gus gets one. That's the cruise missile, or does Gus call this immediately? He will. There it is. It's being phoned in. Bomb does get planted, though. Everyone just has to stay safe through this. Spam shots for Cruz come out. Ramby stays alive. And then he gets out of the sight. Silly, though, gets caught. It's down to the 1v3. Ramby, have to find it, have to have it. Here comes the play. First and foremost, he gets spun around, and no! Ray's the one to get the final kill. And Oklahoma Christian will not be reverse swept. They come back 2-5 down, and Gus goes 7 in a row to get them to the grand finals.
2-5 down. 4 rounds on the bounce for Oklahoma Christian to deny the reverse sweep. Oh, it just had to go round 11 again. We talked about it. We almost felt like we talked into existence. 2 round 11s previously against 2 different teams on LSU Search and Destroy, and it comes through once again. What a hell of a play call coming through from Oklahoma Christian defensively. Again, it wasn't always just to try to force that 6th kill to come through. If Gus got that chow through the fence line, great. If he got the cruise missile, even better. But they stuck to their guns, man. They ended up putting Cruz over by that top tower. Gus to play over by the fence line. 2 players around Kegs and around the A bomb site. And Frosty, he didn't have the sexiest map number 5 that we have seen from this kid all weekend long. But let me tell you that he make that heads-up play. Just gets inside of couches, gets that dead silence call. Whether it was an audio cue or not, challenging to take down the initial player was
Huge.
everything. Because then it opened up the flank for Cruz to work his way back through the tower side with dead silence. Make everybody feel trapped inside of the Asilo itself, and then just wait for Gus to find that last elimination required, get the information soon to follow. Absolutely insane scenes. It just had to go the distance.
It really did. Unreal stuff, man. What composure from Oklahoma Christian. Yeah, at a certain point, Cruz is literally sitting up at 10 and 5 at one point in time. And it isn't until Gus starts to step in. And the reads just became so much more confident as well. They definitely started to feel more top-level challengers-esque as we got deeper and deeper for Oklahoma Christian on that little run that they went on. A lot of it comes down to, again, I think Ray just kind of knowing when he has the ability to plant versus when he needs to force a gunfight. And, man, I'll tell you, that little bit of extra heads up from Oklahoma Christian was critical in their late decision-making when it came around playing around the bomb.
1v3 clutches on 2 different sides. Ramby had one massively when the bomb was planted accordingly. Also had 2 weird bubbles on both different sides as well where the bomb was not stretched to be in the clutch position as well. Tensions at an all-time here in Belong Gaming's arena. But Oklahoma Christian will not be denied. Gus Cruz will not be denied. They had themselves a hell of a map number 5. Frosty towards the tail end. Ray, I mean, yeah, the guy doesn't drop numbers, but damn was he steady as all ever throughout the entirety of these 5 maps, and that is something that you can absolutely rally behind. Something that you needed after losing the way that you did to Northwood just not even about an hour and a half ago. The pop-off, immense, the ground shaking, Oklahoma Christian deliver on the goods. They're grand finals bound.
Wow. What a story it's been so far for the Oklahoma Christian Eagles. There's the final scoreboard, 12-7 for Cruz, 11 of them non-traded. Frosty gets 3 first bloods. I mean, he was involved in the first engagement almost every single round. He was involved 7 times, won 3 of them. 1,800 total damage, though, from Cruz, 1,200 from Gus. Unreal scenes, man. This is one hell of a scoreboard.
That's actually insane. The way that I honestly would suggest is that every single time that, well, besides only 5 first bloods for Oklahoma Christian. It was that one V3 clutch for Gus. It was the only breaking of the mold as far as first blood is concerned. Absolutely absurd scenes as we take a look at the best of 5 map set. Oh, it felt like this one took forever. The reverse sweep was definitely on the cards. The exploit control, we were in and out of Himmelat, but, nonetheless, that Mercado Arch point was definitely making an argument that Fisher Falcons were in prime position to complete the reverse sweep. And to be fair, they were up 5-2.
Yeah.
I said don't let these Eagles spread their wings because, dang, dude, they are so momentum-based. And they just absolutely deliver on that round 11. Wonderfully executed by Cruz and the boys of OCU. Bring themselves back up to grand finals. Not just going to have to be one best of 5, though, which everybody has struggled with this weekend to take down Northwood. You got to do it twice.
Yeah, that's a totally different story. The small hits on that is the fact that Northwood has 3-0'd Oklahoma Christian twice now all of a sudden. But the series have gotten tighter, and now all of a sudden Oklahoma Christian are starting to cook with a little bit of gas. But with that, Visions is standing by with our post-game interview. Down to the floor.
3, 2, 1, and go.
Oh, thank you so much, gentlemen. I am here with Gus after what was just 4 rounds in a row to make the comeback, but it started with you. Talk me through that 1v3 and the emotions that you're feeling right now.
Well, 1v3, it was either win that or go home, but we pushed site. We knew Sabi was in there. He killed Frosty, I think. So we went and bait and switched that. The last two were Silly and Dylan, I think. I know Fargo's a slow AR, old man. He's got that, long range sight, went tower, got really good timing on him, honestly. And then Dylan, I just caught him running through the right side. Pretty lucky timing, to be honest.
Pretty lucky timing, but I mean, at the same time, you were looking really good. You played it really well. When you go through something like that, especially alongside your teammates, and then you bring it all the way back, tell me how that has maybe now motivated you guys, or what that's going to do going forward is heading back into that rematch against Northwood.
We showed some really good composure. Against Northwood in, the first series, they kind of slammed us. The second time we played today in winners finals, we could have closed out first map. Second map was 6-5, lost by 40. So it just showed we have composure and ice, and just got to clutch up those rounds.
Fair enough. So going into this grand finals, what do you think you guys are going to have to do in order to take these guys down? It's going to have to be through 2 best-of-5s. We have a bracket reset for grand finals. Talk me through what you guys are going to be looking at specifically when it comes to beating these guys and trying to get them down, and then going into the second best-of-5.
Well, our hardpoint today has been pretty good, to be honest. So we just got to close out one of the respawns. Their control is really good. So it's really about winning 2-5 and stealing a respawn. Everyone knows that. They're a really good team. They've all been playing challengers together all year. So it's about just closing out our maps and just coming in clutch and icing up,
Ice it up. Well, a lot of ice in the veins right there, my man. Absolutely love to see it. Last question, could Eric Boom ever pull off that 1v3 like you did?
Nah, he's a little too small for that. Yeah, a little too small.
Fair enough. This has been Gus. He just pulled off an incredible 1v3 for 4 rounds in a row to make the comeback. They now have the rematch up against Northwood. These guys are just absolutely to the moon right now. You can only imagine how they're feeling. So it has been a great losers final, but we still have more on the way. And now we'll throw it back over to Andy and Alan.
Eric Boom catching strays? Boy can't even defend himself. He's probably midair on the way to Vegas at the moment. Come on.
You have to imagine Ant probably kind of nutted that one out.
Yeah, of course.
The rotation Ant is in the building here as well. It's all love and games at the end of the day, but man, I love those questions that Austin honestly asked, because it really did get to showcase some of the thought process behind Gus, especially in that 1v3. A little fire, a little bit of stray, some heat being thrown towards Silly, world champ, by the way, but nonetheless, this Oklahoma Christian squad is definitely poised to at least make an argument in grand finals.
Got to come with something convincing, though. We'll see how things go. It's the grand finals. We're going to crown a champion when we come back at the backside of the break. Don't go anywhere.